All right, we're here with Nick Sterghos.
Yes, sir.
And it's a great Saturday afternoon just before New York City Tri. So tell us, I mean, you're here for the, is this the first time here for the New York City Tri?
This is my second time.
Second time,
and I did it back in 2010.
Cool.
So it'll be interesting. There's only a handful of pros actually doing it this time.
Yeah, you were saying what, 6 or 8 pros?
Seven pros.
7 pros.
So
okay.
I guess a lot of conflicting, and maybe they're just not confident with the race this year.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's a wide open field for you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah? So, Nick, you're in the Army, right? Which is a very unique. I sponsor a lot of triathletes. I think you're the only one I sponsor in the Army.
Yes.
And I feel it's an honor because part of it you serve in the country and you're doing, a sport that you're not just doing it just for fun, but you're really putting a lot of energy into it. So let's talk a little bit about your background, like from the Army perspective and how you sort of blend in your Army responsibilities and triathlon.
So yeah, I graduated from West Point in 2009. So I got commissioned as an officer, and I've been in since then. So going on in May will be 5 years. So my first duty station was Fort Hood, Texas, and that's actually where I'm based out of. I'm consigned to right now. But I've got a great opportunity that the Army has given me, my unit has given me to basically train full time while still, fulfilling my military duties. Since I started doing triathlons in the winter of 2007, so it's been a good build-up, and my goal when I started was to do the Olympics someday. And right now my eye is on Rio 2016. And so that's what I'm shooting for.
And the Olympics are, what's the distance of the Olympics?
So for the Olympics, it's they call it the Olympic triathlon, distance triathlon. So that's 1.5 kilometer swim, 40 kilometer bike, and then a 10 kilometer run.
Which is the same as
same as this. The New York one will be a little bit faster for the swim just because it's downstream.
Yeah.
So, but it's still, I think, they still measure it to be 1,500 meters. So.
Yeah. So that's perfect. So these kind of events get you ready.
Yeah, these are perfect. And the only difference between this race and let's say the Olympics style of racing is drafting versus non-drafting.
Okay, so Olympic is draft legal.
Yes, it's draft legal, so that means you get to draft.
Go even faster.
Yeah, go even faster. If that's what you're
Yeah. So, so how does it work with the Army? Like, so you do have to do a regular Army job, and they give you time to train?
Yes, so since basically 2009, even with my initial training before I got to Fort Hood, Texas, you just have to, I'd have to, just go to my commanders, go to the people who are in charge of me and just kind of, tell them my goals. And luckily, everyone that I've dealt with has been very supportive, and so I have been, as long as I do my job, fulfill my duties, they support my goals too. So they've allowed me to go race and do all the ITU races that are pretty much kind of like the Olympic qualifiers to gain those ITU points to get ranked in the world, and then the closer you get to the Olympics, the more points you get for the most part. And in certain races you do that are qualifiers, you hopefully can make a team.
Yeah.
And so that's. I'm close to that, but still far away. So there's a lot that can be done in these next 3 years.
Yeah.
So
and that's a long goal, right?
It is.
3 years out. So how do you maintain enthusiasm, like focus? You have coaches in the.
Yes, I do have coaches. Tim Crowley, and I was working with a great swim coach, Louis Tharp, and just recently I'm kind of working full time with Tim, just because he's also out of the same location in Florida that I've been kind of doing a training stint at. So it's been very good to have hands on there.
And you have a swim background? That's how you got with Lou?
Well, actually, my background is running. I started running in high school, and I did track and field, and distance events and cross country, and that's what I did at West Point for a year and a half before I switched over to triathlon. And me and Lou got to know each other through the triathlon team because he was the swim coach for our team.
Yeah.
I've actually pretty much been doing it since probably when I started triathlon. There was a kid on the cross country team when I was kind of switching over to go to the triathlon team, who I kind of like, I listened to, and he kind of mentored me. And he was really big into the whole eat to live, Joel Furman kind of philosophy.
Yeah.
So I read the book, and it made sense to me. It clicked to me. I thought I'd been a healthy person in high school. I cut out all the fried foods and the candies and the soda drinks, but I was still eating animal kind of based foods, and I'd eat my vegetables and my fruits, but I had no idea at the kind of gains I would make if I went to plant based. And so it was a struggle for the first, I would say, 3 years, pretty much until I got out of West Point to do plant-based, just because our society and how it's not really, you have to have special preparation. You have to more or less kind of do it yourself if you want to eat plant-based, and especially at school, just because the way they served food there, it was a big family style. So you'd sit down and they bring your food out, and just they would always have animal protein, just the typical kind of thing, because that's just the majority of the population eats, so that's how they have to provide that. So I would bring like Ziploc bags and grab all the salad, because no one ate the salad on the food, so I'd just go around on each table and grab and stuff bags of salad, and I got to get good friends with, I guess, the lunch ladies or whatever, and so they would always bring me extra fruit, and I could just go back and they would help me out and bring me things that I would like, fruits and vegetables, because they had a stockpile of it, because not a lot of people kind of focused on that kind of thing. And Lou was also a very big help, because he would actually help me get some groceries on the weekends. And now that I'm in the Army, out of school, and on my own, it's been easier to, more convenient to have my own refrigerator, full of food in my pantry, filled with plant-based
What
foods.
got you started?
It was more or less just reading if you just, I read Eat to Live, I've read the Dr. Thrive book, and it just clicked with me that based off of just the scientific, background of, you eat certain foods and how it makes your body alkaline or acidic, and it has more nutrients per calorie, and because I'm an athlete, I'm very big into recovery. And when you break your body down, you need the right kind of foods or nutrients to build it back up to make it stronger. And to me, plant-based vegetables, fruits, they have so many nutrients that you need to build back up, and they don't have all that extra, I guess, free radical kind of things in them, bad things I would call them, that you would be putting back into your body.
And you find now, with the amount of training that you're doing, we should go into what a typical day would look like, that it's sufficient.
Yes, definitely. You just have to more or less do a little extra work
to prep for it.
Because you're not gonna, you go out to restaurants that, you have to order special to get foods that you want. But more or less, that's the same way if you go out and buy your own groceries. You just have to know ahead of time. I make foods ahead of time for the week, just because the time is limited, and just put a little time into it. And, make sure you have a lot of beans. I have plant-based proteins, different things like that. And most of it is for the population. It's just education. They don't know that. They say vegetables, and that, those are carbs. They don't-
So to take us through a typical training day, like maybe a light day and a heavy day,
Okay.
and how you eat through it.
Okay, so usually, let's just say, there's really no difference between my light or heavy days. It's just the heavy days I might eat more during my workouts, or kind of like just to make sure I'm fueled throughout the whole workout. Is I'll wake up and I'll have maybe some sprouted or some, let's say, a gluten-free toast or some granola, or with berries. Blueberries, raspberries, just you name it, or just mainly I'll just eat fruit in the morning.
Okay.
And I'll go out and do an hour and a half for a light day.
Like a run or a swim.
Yeah, like maybe a light 30-minute run, or an hour and a half spin on the bike, or a 3K in the pool. It's really hard to overdo it in the pool. Because they're non-impact.
Yeah.
So, and then I always will try to get some fuel in me right after my workout. So a piece of fruit.
Yep.
An apple, banana, some cut up cantaloupe or something like that, and do some stretching.
Do you ever worry about the protein right after the workout? Because it seems like a lot of people are so hyper about, you worked out, you need the protein, right? I
usually try to get more of actually some sugars in it.
Yep.
Your glycogen.
Your glycogen's
so
down.
that's the prime time, like right after you work out, that I've read that you need to just get some fruit in. And then you have a period of time where you can get your proteins in.
Yep.
And so that's why I always just eat a little piece of fruit, and then I'll go and do some stretching, and then I'll have my a bigger meal.
Yep.
Which, for let's say if it's in the morning, I might have some plant-based protein powder.
Blend it up.
Yeah, blend
something,
it up.
Something like what we just said,
like it's rice protein or hemp protein, and then maybe like a salad that has tons of different vegetables in it: peppers, tomatoes, different kind of beans or legumes.
Do you stay low on the grains?
I try to keep I try to have more of let's say the pseudo grains, so the wild rice or the quinoa that has kind of, I guess, a little bit more protein in it.
It's a lighter grain too, lighter for your body.
Yes, exactly.
And it's gluten-free.
Yes.
Which has all come down to digestion being easier.
And whatever I put in my body, I want my body to be able to absorb it the fastest and the less negative effects it will have. That's why I'm really big into plant-based, because I get more nutrients per calorie. So that's lunch, and then you do a break, another session. Yeah, I'll have another session. If it's a bike, and if I had not biked that morning or something, it can be up to a 2-hour bike if it's a hard day, or let's say some intervals on the track, or speed session in the water. And again, right after I work out, if I have let's say a smoothie you have there, I'll have a blended up vegetables and fruits, and I'll drink that right after I do my workout.
What do you take on the bike? Depends on, let's say you're doing 40K or something.
Well, usually I'll have Amrita bars, which, because it's plant-based, it doesn't have all that maltodextrin in it, that spikes your insulin level. I really like to actually have solid bars too, because it's slow burning, that will get me through the whole workout. Instead of spike my energy levels and then kind of fall. It's not also, it can be plant-based, but it's also how it's made and how your body's going to react to it. So that's another. You got to be smart with your foods.
So you do solid nutrition in the bottles, water, coconut water?
Usually water, and I might put some kind of Himalayan sea salt in there.
Because in Florida you're sweating crazy.
Sweating a lot, and sometimes I'll have coconut milk. Or not coconut milk, but coconut water. Some good to put potassium and sodium in there, and if I want to flavor it up, I'll squeeze maybe a lemon in there.
Perfect.
So maybe a little bit of stevia if you need to sweeten it up a little bit. Instead of the other kind of modified sugars, more of the plant-based kind of sugar.
Try maple syrup or molasses is really good for iron. And,
Okay. Yeah, I've tried date sugar
Yeah.
and stuff. So because dates,
high
really-
minerals.
Mhm.
So that's your afternoon workout, and then what do you do? Kind of refuel, stretch again.
Yeah, I mean, I always try to get some stretching in there, and usually it's just a rule of thumb. After I work out, I'll try to immediately take in some carbohydrates.
Yep.
And then within like an hour or two, I'll start make sure I get those proteins. And I'm always eating nuts throughout the day.
Yeah.
Different kind of nuts. It's a good source of fuel, especially when you get past a certain amount of time where your workouts.
Yeah.
You've replenished all your glycogen, so then you can.
So the nuts keep you satiated because it's a higher fat content. Slower burning.
Yes, exactly.
And it keeps the hunger away, the energy level is pretty steady.
Yes.
Right?
And that's also why I just like plant-based in general, just because you get all that, and it also has all the fiber in there.
Yeah.
It keeps your insulin levels from shooting up, and just keeps a good blood sugar.
Right, and the fiber is because you're eating things in their real state. Right? You're eating the salad. That's huge, not processed.
Exactly.
Just tons of fiber. And actually, that's one of the reasons with the bars that we make, we say it's blended, not baked, because we think when you cook something, you're reducing the fibers down a lot. And there's a fine line in sports nutrition about the amount of fiber, because you don't want too much while you're exercising, because it does interfere with. But we feel like the amount of fiber in there is just the right amount to keep you satiated, especially for endurance sports.
Yeah.
Versus if it's completely bashed in and just made into a pulp, then you're losing the value of the fiber.
And dinner time. I eat a lot of salads, just because salads are so nutritious, and they're kind of, you can throw whatever you want in there. Make different kinds of salads, so you can kind of switch it up. But also have some steamed or some steamed vegetables sometimes. Asparagus, or I'll have some kale. Sometimes I'll have kale salads. A lot of quinoa, a lot of wild rice, just to make sure I get enough calories in because just a lot of training, 20 to 25 hours a week.
That's
so
a lot.
Just gotta make you gotta make sure you have enough.
I think that's an important thing to reiterate. 25 hours a week, you're talking. That's nearly half a working. Most people work 40 to 50 hours a week, right? That's a ton of training, and I want to just kind of reiterate on that point, is you can be plant-based and be super fit like you, and do 25 hours, because the average weekend athlete probably trains 10 to 12 hour weeks, right? Even when I was racing as a Cat 3, my limit was 15, and I could race competitively at 15 hours a week of training, and I see people all around me who are competitive amateur athletes. At 15 hours, all of a sudden they say, well, we need to have meat because we're not getting enough. And here's a prime example of you doing 20 to 25 and being completely refuel, energized on plant-based.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good thing to bring up, is that I'm kind of an example that people can kind of look at.
Yeah.
Even when I talk to people sometimes, and they get into those same questions. If you're eating all these vegetables, you're not getting enough protein. I don't even try to argue with them. I just tell them what I know, and I'm like, well, I am training this many hours, and I'm successful at it.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can hurt is just to try it out.
Yeah. But I think one of the key areas that I found, and you hit on this, is the fact that when people switch to plant-based, they're not getting enough calories in. A big bowl of just basic salad is not a lot of calories. And then all of a sudden the energy drops, and then they just go back to meat, because meat is kept calorically dense.
Yeah.
And instead of the meat, they could go to quinoa, they could go to baked potatoes, baked yams.
I eat a lot of yams and sweet potatoes.
That's calorically dense. The nuts that you talked about, right? So it's I think from what I gather from what you're saying is you have a lot of the fresh fruits, the vegetables to give you the nutrients, but then for calories, you go to the fruits, you go to the quinoa, you go to
the nuts,
the yams, and it's really important. I don't know how many calories, but my guess would probably be 3,000.
Yeah, 3,000 to 5,000.
There you go.
It's a good range.
Yeah.
So.
And you're not a big guy. Like, what, 140? 130?
Oh, yeah, 130. So.
Yeah. See, so that's it's I think a lot of people also bring the calories down way low to lose the weight, and I feel like that's the wrong recipe for success. That you've got to train, you've got to put the hours into being fit, and not drop the calories, because then your body all of a sudden goes into the hibernation state and slows down. And then they start going to the caffeine, to get caffeinated back up, and it's just a vicious cycle. Versus fueling and then training, and getting fit that way.
Exactly. And just quality exercise with kind of you don't have to totally go to being a vegan.
Yeah.
Even though I do that, you just make sure you're incorporating those vegetables and those fruits. Half your plate. Those kind of things, and as long as you're exercising, most of the part, just the way that those kind of foods react in your body, they'll help you start losing that extra, fatty tissues that you have.
So, if people want to find out more about your training, you're progressing towards Rio, where can they follow you?
I have a website. It's NicholasSterghos.com.
So spell it out.
So it's NicholasSterghos.
Okay, and I'll put it in the show notes at the bottom.
Okay.
So NicholasSterghos.com, and you got a Facebook?
Facebook, it's just my name, and then also the Twitter. I go on there because it's another good kind of social media site, and it's just in my first initial, my name, and then Sterghos.
Cool. That's awesome. So I am honored to have you as an ambassador. It's great.
I love the product, so it's more or less you're supporting me, but I'm also supporting something that I hold dear to my heart, and it's just
plant-based.
Yeah, plant-based, but just it's just a healthy lifestyle.
Good luck tomorrow.
All right.
And then we'll by the time we throw up the video, we'll know how Nick did, and we'll throw up some results and some pictures and some links where we can all follow you as you try to work towards Rio.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you very much.